again, football fans. Welcome to Friday Night Varsity Flashback State Championship Edition. We had two games to get to. I'm Aaron Schoonmaker, joined with Powell Latimore, our sports writer, the guru. We've been here all weekend. We were here last night, Friday night, for the Pender game. It's Saturday afternoon right now. We just got done with the Wallace-Rose Hill game. Mixed results, one win, one loss. We'll tell you who did what. Let's get started with Friday night's game with Pender. Tell me a little bit how that one started out.
Absolutely. Well, Pender actually came out looking pretty dominant in the first part of this game. Scored a touchdown on the first drive of the game. Held Albemarle to 3-and-out on their first drive. Looked like he was going to go and Pender was going to score again, but tragedy strikes. Pender fumbles the ball. Albemarle jumps on it, and from there on, things just mushroomed against Pender. A 15-yard personal foul penalty continued that Albemarle drive and led them to their first touchdown. And from there on, Albemarle just out physical and just kind of, they just walked away with it.
Right, just before that touchdown, Pender was able to get an interception, drive down the field before that fumble. The defense on the sideline, while I was down there, was yelling, "Let's go, D, let's just play like this, we're gonna win the game."
We keep playing like that, baby. We keep playing like that, we take the ring home with us. Let's go, D. Let's go.
After that fumble in the post-game press conference, we heard Coach Tom Ian saying the momentum kind of shifted after that fumble, and after that, it was kind of Albemarle was in control.
Absolutely. Albemarle's defense, that 4-4 defense they run, perfectly tailored to stop Pender's rushing attack, and Pender just couldn't get anything on the ground. They did have Josh Johnson rushing for 100-plus yards, but other than that, this Pender offense lives on the run, and they just couldn't get it done this week. I think they only had about 200 yards rushing on the ground. That's amazingly low for them. They're averaging 400 yards for the season. So a huge, a good defensive effort from Albemarle really limited things there.
Absolutely. They got another score in the second half there, went up 21-7. We talked about it before. Pender's offense isn't an offense that can really come back. They don't throw the ball. They had one pass play in 2 games previous coming into this game. They threw the ball twice on Friday night. One of them was intercepted. It's just kind of the story when they fell behind.
Absolutely, yeah. They just Tom Ian said in the press conference after the game, you know what, Albemarle, just a better team.
Absolutely. 21-7 that final. That was Friday night. Saturday afternoon, Wallace-Rose Hill took the field. They were playing Murphy, who had a long trip. They actually got in Thursday night in advance for this one. Did it help them?
It looked like it would. It looked like it would. Murphy came out like absolute gangbusters in this start of this game, hitting, playing defense. They were doing everything right, and actually they were up 12-0 on a Wallace, which was a shock because Wallace, they don't trail very much. They haven't trailed very much this season. Defending state champs. Murphy's driving 500 odd miles to get here.
Yep.
Things didn't look well, but sure enough, things started to turn around here in a little bit. And a long Jonathan Drakeford run, that's a nice 70-yard run on the corner, really helped Wallace get too far behind there. And they got into halftime with a manageable deficit, an 18-7 deficit, and that was important to not be too far behind and not be shut out.
Actually, they get to the break, and the time of possession was 21.5 minutes for Murphy, 3.5 minutes for Wallace-Rose Hill. Huge discrepancy. The amount of plays run was 44 for Murphy to just 19 or 20, I believe, for Wallace-Rose Hill. So double the plays, 7 times the times of possession. It really looked like Wallace just came in, expected to win, and were just getting out-athleted.
They were getting out-athleted. They're getting out everything in that first half. Second half, though, the Omar Carr show.
Yes.
Wallace-Rose Hill went to their guy, Omar Carr. And he really helped take over the game. He only had 5 carries for 24 yards in the first half. Finished the game with 18 carries, 160 some odd yards.
Yep.
Absolutely was the most consistent offensive force for Wallace-Rose Hill in that second half. And wouldn't you know it, in another dramatic, just like the last year, they've done this before. Joey Price said, we've been to this show before. They did almost the exact same way in the final seconds.
I was saying on the sideline that whole second half, I've seen this game before. This is what happened last year. Sure enough, in the second half, Jose Flores, big field goal. He kicks a career long right here. This puts him ahead in the fourth quarter. Omar Carr once again gets Player of the Game honors. That's 2 years in a row for him. Wallace-Rose Hill, in a repeat, mirror image of last year, they win it.
Absolutely, and as Wallace-Rose Hill says, hip hip Jose. Nailed a 45-yard field goal and stopped a pretty potent Murphy offense there at the end.
Back to back. Back to back. Oh, man. 2 years in a row.
Well, real quick, let's go to some of the post-game comments that Wallace-Rose Hill had to say about that game and about their back-to-back win.
But we knew that Drakeford was the guy that could break it, and Omar's the guy that can work it. And then, Quayle been hurt. Nothing against him, but he's been hurt for 2 or 3 weeks now. And so we moved Omar back to fullback. Let Quail dink and dunk out there like he was running it. But Omar does what Omar does. Felt like last year, 38-yard field goal he kicked, tied the game up so we could go in overtime. So it's not his first rodeo either. You know what we say in Wallace is hip, hip, Jose. When I came here last year, they made a dedicated commitment. And Omar told me he was going to win 3, so he's got 1 more. But these guys have gone out with 2 state championships, something nobody in Wallace-Rose Hill can say they've done. These guys have finished undefeated season that nobody at Wallace-Rose Hill's ever done since they've been in the state playoffs. They'll be Overman had some undefeated teams that never made it to the playoffs because they didn't have them back then. Let me just say, Wallace-Rose Hill's got a great tradition of Thelby Overman and Jack Holly. I'm just proud to be a part of it, and so are these guys, and they'll be Bulldogs forever.
All right, so let's recap real quick. Pender falls 21-7 on Friday night. Wallace-Rose Hill pulls off the dramatic win here Saturday under the deteriorating weather. It started to rain at halftime. It's only getting worse right now, so we're going to try to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in all year. Be sure to join us next week while we recap the season, bring you some highlights, and we'll finish it from there. Stay checking it out, guys.
Hey, my son said, let's kick it. He said, all he can do is this. So we threw him out there. We've seen him kick them that far before, but I wasn't feeling real good about it. But I ain't never had a field goal kicker like Jose Flores either.